Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elise, and today we are going to be doing the anti-TBR tag. I am really excited about this. I have seen so many of these in the past, and I've always wanted to do it, so here we are, finally. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit so I can like put the books here so you can see them. Okay. So, question number one is a book that everyone loves that you have no intent on reading. And for that, I have two in mind. These are two books that I just felt like I could not escape like a couple years ago. Everybody was raving about them, and that is Strange the Dreamer and also The Starless Sea. I think I feel very similarly about both of these. I know Strange the Dreamer was always said to have like really pretty writing, very like lyrical writing. I'm not into that. I'm really not. I'm really not into like the beautiful, flowery writing. And I feel very similar about The Starless Sea. I had tried to read The Night Circus at one point. I absolutely hated it, which I know everybody loves that book. I hated it. I did not like it. I didn't like the writing. It was just like, it wasn't fun. I felt like it was really boring. And that's how I feel about The Starless Sea and, Strange the Dreamer. I feel like I'm going to be really bored. It's not going to be something that I'm into. The writing is going to not interest me whatsoever. And honestly, the flowery writing makes it really hard for me to get into the story. And ultimately, for me, that is why I read. I like to be in the story. I like to be like watching that, when you read and you see the movie playing in your head. I like that. If it's too beautiful of writing and I'm focused on the words, I'm not enjoying myself. So that's my answer for that. The next question is a classic that you have no interest in reading. Now, I'm not huge on classics. There are some. There are some classics that I have very much thoroughly enjoyed, like Nella Larson and James Baldwin. Um, but when it comes to classic, one thing that I have found that I'm not really a fan of is like the gothic classics. So like I read Frankenstein and I know people love that book and I was not interested whatsoever. So because of that, I feel like, I'm probably not gonna like Dracula, so I have no interest in reading Dracula or any of the other like gothic classics. I might be categorizing that completely wrong. Also, like Jane Austen, I did read Pride and Prejudice. I thought it was okay, but I really don't want to continue on with any other Jane Austen. Classics are just really not for me. Really just not for me. Okay. The next question is an author that you will never read. This I guess I would say the author of Where the Crawdads Sing. I've heard some really, really not so good stuff about her. I've never read that book. I'm never going to read that book. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I was getting an Amber Alert on my phone. Okay, the next question is an author that you have read from before, but you will not continue reading from them anymore. Okay, so for this one, I will say Cassandra Clare. I did read that first book. What was it? City of Bones. I thought it was okay. Unhauled it, unhauled the other books that I had by her. Really just not interested in it too much, not interested in continuing. I heard it gets better. But, there's a storyline in there that I just could not get past. So, I just decided to unhaul it. Yeah. And oh yeah, like I said, Erin Morgenstern, from The Night Circus, Starless Sea. Not the kind of writing that I am into. a little bit too pretty. Great author, great writer. This is not me like throwing shade at, their writing capabilities, because quite honestly, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous writing, just not for me. So, yeah. Okay, so the next question is a genre that I am just not into, and I have a couple answers for this. So, I'm really not into like high fantasy. Okay. I'm really not that into like magical realism, and you can see I've made a couple mistakes with reading before. But this is the thing. You gotta read books. You gotta read some duds. You gotta read some books that you're not into for you to narrow down your reading taste, okay? But yeah, like magical realism, or like books that are like contemporary, and then they just have like a sprinkle of magic in it, and then I'm like, where the heck did that come from? I don't like that. I don't like that. And then maybe like science fiction. I've read some science fiction that I like Jurassic Park, which I don't know if that's science fiction per se. It had a lot of science in it. Um, but science fiction always has this way of making me feel really like not smart. I don't like that. I don't like feeling like that. So, yeah, so I would say science fiction as well. The next question is a book that you own that you have no plans on reading. And I have two. I have two. So the first one, I would say, now I may end up reading these, but I would say The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. The hype got me and I picked it up. I've heard a lot of really good things about this, but it's the science fiction part that's making me not pick it up. It's the science fiction that's making me not pick it up. Now, I might pick it up, okay? Because in my TBR game, I have a science fiction card, and this is like the only science fiction I have on my TBR shelf. So, um, if I get that, I'll be reading this. Unless I unhaul it first. Yeah. And then the other one, I have The 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. I don't know what this book is. I don't know what this book is. I picked it up a while ago randomly at a thrift store for $1. I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's about. I don't know who Claire North is. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. So I just thought it was like $1 and it was in good condition, and I was just like, sure. Okay, the next question is series. So a series that you will not read, or a series that you've started and have DNF'd. I already mentioned before, like Cassandra Clare, I read City of Bones. I'm not going to continue on with that whatsoever. And another one that I had started and just didn't finish is Illuminae. I read Illuminae, actually enjoyed Illuminae. And then I read Gemina, and I wasn't really into it, so I unhauled the whole series and I never picked it back up. And then also I read Unwind by Neil Schusterman. I really like Neil Schusterman, but I read Unwind and I read Unstrung, the novella, and I just didn't really feel compelled to pick up any more in that series at all, and I ended up unhauling those books as well. And then there is one series that I had started and just haven't picked up anything from, but I may go back, which is the Themis Files. What is that book called? I'll put it right here. I think it might be Sleeping Giants. Or maybe. I really enjoyed that book, and then I read it like literally back in like 2020. Never picked up the second book. I may go back to that one, but so far I would categorize that one as a soft DNF. Okay, and lastly, our the question is a new release that you have no interest in reading, and I would say for this one, like I already said, like any like of the fantasy coming out this year, any of the like sci-fi coming out, I'm not interested. I know that there was a Holly Black, which reminds me of another series that I DNF'd, which was the Cruel Prince. I don't know what the name of the series is. I read the Cruel Prince and I never continued on with it. Um, but I know there was a new Holly Black that came out this year. I think it recently came out that I have no interest in reading. And then also, I know that there is going to be like a new Lee Bardugo this year that I also just have no interest in reading at all. um, yeah, there are some other new releases that I'm kind of on the fence about, but those two for sure, I can guarantee you are never going to see on this channel. If you enjoyed this, please go ahead and like this video and leave a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about these books. Are they on your anti-TBR as well? Am I alone in this? Am I the only one who's like not reading The Starless Sea? Let me know. And also, if you want to see more videos from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.